Hello and welcome back to the Insanity. Today I have actually updated some mods. So the first thing that we're going to notice is that our research center now has a crafting speed of 0.5 instead of 1. So now this has actually reduced our speed for science packs by half. Just when we have enough ingredients to keep this research center fully productive, the mod author decides to change things. Oh well, so maybe later we might need to deal with that by making another research center, but for now we have other pressing matters. And those include, first of all, to create some more facilities of various kinds. We're gonna need a botanical nursery, and we're going to need another sap extractor, and we're gonna need a bunch of different things, because what we're going to do is to start making Vrauk cocoons. And for that, we're going to need a couple of different things. And composters are quite expensive. Let's see, do we have any chromium anywhere by any chance? I hope we do, but I can't quite guarantee it. We do, thank you. That's nice. So that makes us have enough for a composter. Then we need a sap extractor. And then we need a Vrauk paddock. And yes, we need another Vrauk paddock, because the one that we have from earlier gives us Vrauks, but now we're going to want to make Vrauk cocoons. It's not that cuckoo as it sounds. Or maybe it's exactly as cuckoo as it sounds, because it's cocoon and not cuckoo. We're gonna need a high pressure furnace, but we have that. And we're gonna need a moss farm, or make that too. Now I think we are starting to make all the things we need. And while that is crafting, we can take a look at our Vrauk production. And also we're going to need to steal at least one Vrauk from there. Ooh, we have two more. That's nice. So we're going to steal one, and we're gonna put in the cages again. Great! Now you might wonder, what are we going to do with all of this? And the answer is, we're going to get landfill. We are basically going to set up an independent Vrauk cocoon production. Because if we look at the Vrauk cocoon, we can see that it requires biomass, sap, and moss. And regarding biomass, it just so happens that there are like a whole bunch of different recipes for this. And thank you, landfill, that's very helpful. One of those recipes, it's hard to watch where I'm going now, but I think I will find my way. One of those recipes include the fawagaye. And the special thing with the fawagaye is that we can produce this basically completely independently of anything else. And I think I need a spore collector as well, of course. And our inventory is full. Shift C, always helpful. Spore collector. Right. Now we still have plenty of things in our inventory. Low filter inserter. If I place you down, I will forget where I put you, so actually let's use these trash slots for a while. Not that we have any robots that can help us pick them up, but still. It can serve as a reminder for us to remember what to get rid of. And we see that we have 3 water barrels in our inventory. We don't really need them. And we also need a Favogaya plantation, of course. So we need more soil and 100 wood. Should be possible to fix. Not ideal, but sure, especially not considering that our inventory is very crowded. Very, very crowded. That wasn't possible to get rid of it that way, no. High clay pits. Go there. I need wood. It does take a lot of time just walking around and collecting the ingredients that we need for things. But hey, we do need ingredients, so was that enough of wood? Almost. Two more, thank you. Favogaya plantation. No! What? Wait, did I already make one? Or is it from earlier? Okay. Maybe I didn't need another Favogaya plantation. Sure. So let's go make us some more land for stuff to build. We're going to need a bit of land, not too much, but enough. And we sort of want it to be... I'm honestly not sure where exactly we want to have it. But hopefully, probably quite close to our little bus thingy. The good thing about this is that it will be completely standalone. So it does not need any external inputs. Right, let's get started, shall we? So the first thing that we can make that is completely independent of everything else is the spore collector. Well, okay, I lied when I said completely independent. Yes, it needs electricity, like many things do. And so the next step is to go get some Favogayas, because we need to kickstart this thing. 186 of them should be more than enough. So a Favogaya plantation. Let's put it right next to it. So many different options. Let's go for the one with water, because water is not a problem. At least not usually, and I don't think it will be a problem this time either. Inserters, however, seems to be a bit of an issue. I'm not expecting this to require a lot of items input per second, which is why I'm only using one inserter. So, Favgaye, where are you? There you are. Start make me some. The reason for us making the Favgaye is basically so that we have something to compost. And once again, I lied when I said that it's completely independent, because currently we need steam for our little, well, not really little, is it? For our composter. I think we should have steam somewhere, don't we? Yes, here we have some. Now, of course, in theory, we could actually use the biomass that we get from the Favgaye, but I don't think it would be anywhere near enough, actually. And yeah, I'm not even eager to test. So this produces 6 Favgaye per minute, and this produces 0.4 per 8 seconds. And if you calculate the items per second, that means it's 0.05, which means that it on average produces 1 every 20 seconds. And when this is running at full speed, it requires 3 Favgaye spores per minute, which, believe it or not, equals to exactly. It equals to 1 per 20 seconds. So these two machines match each other very well. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, according to my estimations. So, like, once approximately every 3 minutes, we will get a bunch of compost from this thing. Now, what should we do with that? We should say high pressure furnace and make some carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is one of the ingredients for moss. So we're gonna put down a moss farm. And we're not gonna use the stone recipe because we don't want to mess with that and don't want to make space for that and so on. And now we realize that the little ocean we have here was actually quite a little bit useful, because it allows us to put down these machines. And give us some water directly from the ocean, or from this little lake that we have here. And we need to kickstart the production, of course. And we do need to put down some inserters for the biomass. There we go. So we need to get some moss to kickstart everything. And we have more Vrauks. Awesome. I am just using the Vrauks to produce more Vrauks at the moment. But eventually I'm going to need more of them in the production for Vrauk cocoons, which we are currently working on getting started. Is this moss? I think this is moss. This looks like moss. If it looks like moss and talks like moss, it's moss. And walks like moss. And here we have the moss. And the moss requires power as well, naturally. And it looks like we still have plenty of room for power. So that's good. Now we're going to need a sap extractor and a botanical nursery. And now we realize that we should have started this earlier because this process takes a little bit of time. And then we need to go get something to kickstart it with, namely sap. Here it is. And we have now researched rendering, which I am sure will be very useful at some point when we don't have a whole bunch of other stuff to do. So the first thing we need to do is to make sap seeds so that we can make sap trees. And these sap seeds are just made from this machine. So let's place down our little Vrauk paddock. Although again, there's nothing little about this machine. Definitely not. It seems to fit quite perfectly here, so sure, why not? And the Vrauk cocoon needs biomass, water barrel, and moss and sap. So, as you can see, I haven't quite figured out exactly how to place these things, but I'm not too worried. Mostly because this is independent, as I said. And this looks like crap, so let's remake this. There we go. That's more like it. So we need water barrel, sap, and the moss. And we're going to need some more inserters. Okay, thank you. We have some sap seeds. Should be enough to make 2 sap trees, which we then will put into this one to make sap. And we're going to need a bit more space, so like this. That means that we're also going to need a long-handed inserter, even though we already had a bunch. And once again, I guess I can't really do that, can I? Nope, because they count as modules. So they need to be inserted manually for some reason. And then we're going to need an inserter for the moss. Now I'm sure that you already have plenty of ways in your head to think about how to better scale this, and honestly, of course, I do know better ways myself, but I just right now want to get started with this. So there's the first sap, and here comes another sap tree, which should double the production rate of sap, more or less. So then the botanical nursery has done its job, and now we're getting sap. And this is where we, of course, need to place our little Vrauk. And so also, of course, we need to make an automated factory, I believe, to handle the fluid, the water barrels. So let's go get that. Hello, Iron. And if we have time in this episode, which hopefully we will do, we will also take a look at improving the copper. And here you can see is one of the useful things we can use Favogaya for, iron ore, which we might do at some point. So let's see, we need an automated factory. And while we are here, we might as well produce some more inserters. We might pick up some more belts. We might again repeat that our factory is a big mess. Right, now it's just the water barrels that are missing. So let's see how or where we can have that factory. Automated factory, how about there? Yes, this should work. And here we need water barrels. And we don't want to empty them, thank you. I know that if you fill water barrels, you can also empty them. And then we're going to need a couple of empty barrels to kickstart things. 5 of them. And there we go. And now for some inserters. So these water barrels will just be reused all the time. So that shouldn't be an issue. So now we're making actually Vrauk cocoons, which is pretty neat. Now we just need some place to put them. We will use a chest for now, but later on we will for sure need a belt. And I think it's time we stock up on some more landfill. Because landfill tends to be quite useful, doesn't it? So believe it or not, we have just taken a step towards green science, because we will need the Vrauk cocoons. And I think we will be able to get closer and closer to green science in both this episode and the upcoming episodes. How much do we have in here? Okay, 3.9k left. So again, just to reiterate, this new Vrauk production has the benefit of being completely standalone. And I'm not sure we're actually going to need 3 of these Seems a bit excessive, doesn't it, to have 3 of these offshore pumps in the same place. What now? Sure, can I press Shift C? Does it help? Nope. Okay then, let's just put down some iron chests so that we can pick up this and place it down again. There we go. What now? Here, take this moss. For some reason, whenever I play this game, I always end up having a full inventory sooner or later. It always happens. Right, so as you can see, we are making the Vrauk cocoons. Awesome! We haven't made any yet, but we will soon enough. Let's make a couple of more of these barrels, I thought. Because we need 4 of them for a recipe. So now it can start another production of this as soon as the current one ends. So this takes 70 seconds, and since we have a crafting speed of 0.25 at the moment, that means 280 seconds, which in other words is just less than 5 minutes. Because 5 minutes is 300 seconds. Great, let's take a look. Do we have any more Vrauks? We do. Now we don't. Now any more Vrauks that we get can go directly into the new Vrauk cocoon production. Here, take this. Now let's just move around for a few minutes and get rid of stuff in our inventory. Thank you for letting me borrow these favogayas. I currently no longer need them. This seems to be a good place to press Shift C. And this explains why I never have any engine units in my inventory, because they always end up here. Naturally. And the soil as well, of course. And a lot of other things. So that's why I'm just picking things up again, stupidly enough. Stupid as it may seem, it's mostly because I want to put things elsewhere. Wow, take a look at this! We have research stuff, and we currently don't have anything left in our queue to research, so let's just do all the things. Domestication, sure. Cotton gut, sure. Cotton gut actually has a different recipe for automation science pack, but I don't think this is relevant just yet, so I'm going to wait with that. There we go. Now we've added a couple of things to our research queue. Should keep us occupied for a while. But hopefully we will get that green science pack soon. Great! So let's take a look at this old chest that we have over here. Hi there, botanical nursery. I don't think we need you here anymore. At least not for the moment. There we go, now we have a heavy armor. Not that we have identified any enemies yet, but it's good to know still. I wonder if... nope, I can't do that. Because this one is full of other things. I haven't set a limit on this, but I might just as well do so. Just to restrict a bit the amount of tin plates and stuff that we're getting. Seems like this one is a bit slow. So we might need to scale that up. So let's take a look at what else we need for the things that we want to make. Most especially the cDNA. We are currently working on the retrovirus, or rather we are working on Vrauk cocoon towards retrovirus. We are also going to need laboratory instrument, which also is one of the things we need for the green science, which actually doesn't look very green, but I'm still calling it green science because at least it has a little bit of green on it. And tradition holds that if it's called logistic science pack, then it's green science. So the next step here seems to be making this laboratory instrument. And for this, we are going to need equipment chassis, small parts, rubber, optical sets. Small parts can be made by making iron and copper together, which might indicate that maybe it's time to work on that copper, but I really like working on new things just to know that, okay, we can actually make these things. So how about equipment chassis, which requires Duralumin, which requires aluminum and copper. And there we go again with the copper. So all right, I give up. Let's make improved copper. Now it seems like this is not using one of the molten recipes yet, but rather it's using... oh right, it's this one that is producing the molybdenum as a side product. How fun is that? So we're gonna need these things with an automated screener and probably the secondary crusher. Casting unit, of course, yaw crusher, screener. Okay, so let's start off with a screener, maybe. Some steel, please. Rather, some more simple circuit boards, please. Steel. Where am I? Where am I? I am here. That makes me believe that I have steel either up here or in a chest a bit down to the left. So let's go to both of them. There we go. Screener. Screener, casting unit, yaw crusher. Yeah, that's it. Yaw crusher, what do we need now? More of those, sure. Just so happens that we have some seaweed going through here. There we go, that's a yaw crusher and a casting unit. No, I'm not interested in the empty case in pulp solution barrel things, thank you. There we go, that's a casting unit. I think that was it. I guess time will tell. Now the issue is, of course, that copper is highly related to iron, but iron is over here, and the aluminum is over here, which we need to put together with the copper. So while we could put it here in between, I like to save some room at least, even though it might not look like it's always. So I'm just going to expand and make some new chunks of landfill. And I'm looking forward to having a car so that we can drive around and just fill in all the landfills. And I'm still interested in finding out if there is any water fill or anything like that. Right. So let's take a look at some yaw crushing. I guess that could take place sort of here maybe. Titanium, copper, there we go. Now we are going to need a belt for this, naturally. And a quite long belt. Although we can probably start moving this extremely old quenching tower. It's giving us 41,400 products. Now it has at least. So I think that's it for you. Thank you very much for your service. You may retire. And I have a feeling my inventory is going to be full soon. Oh right, this is where we have two of these, of course. Here we also have a quenching tower. So we're going to move this as well. Then it would make sense to put it around here somewhere. But how about we put it here maybe? Assuming we can do that. Copper. Now, which way to rotate this? That's the everlasting question, isn't it? Water. Let's see, I think we have water here somewhere. We should have at least. It's over here. Is there any other water closer? Unlikely. A whole bunch of pipes it is. There we go. And then the tar. And now that we're thinking of it, it would actually kind of make sense to move this 2 steps to the right. So we're going to do that to make things look a bit nicer. Well, let's see, how about we do this? That's good. And then we need to connect the output pipes. And then we realize that we do need some more underground pipes. And then here you made this. Sort of. So many pipes. And the tailings, let's see. Where do you want to go? How about here? Wow, this is lots of pipes. And we missed something, of course. Here you go. Now, do we have anywhere of outputting these things? We don't. Not really. Well, actually we do. Let's use a storehouse for this. I think it will be useful. And then we want another filter inserter for this. So copper and iron. And this is something we're going to need quite a lot of, but maybe we don't need to fill the entire thing. So here we go. On this side we want the iron ore, and on the other side we want copper ore. It's easy as that. And maybe this gives us the possibility of getting rid of a whole bunch of belts. Maybe even pipes, but not quite. But as I said, a whole bunch of belts, because this belt is no longer used, no longer needed. And now I realize that we also get some iron ore from blood, which we don't really need at the moment. And we need to figure out a way to get iron ore, no, rather iron plates and copper plates. That might be an important pipe, let's not remove that. We need to get iron plates and copper plates down here, because this is after all where we have our production. And I don't see a lot of iron plates at the moment. Now I'm curious. Oh, that's because our coal belt is full. Well, that's good. That's actually what we want to have. So great, thanks. Awesome. Right, so the iron is actually already taken care of. That goes to the belt down there, but the copper does not. At least not yet. Ugh, we're going to need more borax. Just notice that when sweeping by. So, okay, here we have the copper and iron. It's time to start moving the copper. Now, instead of having a lot of pipes, we have a lot of belts. And the copper goes over here. The copper is inserted into this awesome machine. that we could move one step up. So let's do so for consistency's sake, and that was one step too much, funnily enough. Actually, let's use some long-handed inserters because they are fun. So, copper. Whoops. Something is wrong here. I think we placed down the wrong machine. Yes, we did. We need a screener, of course. A screener it is. Here we go, have some copper. So this is copper grade 1 and grade 2. And that tells us that we're going to need a splitter and separate them. Copper grade 1. Okay, let's separate the grade 1s. So I think it's the grade 2s that go into this one. That means that we want to have the grade 1s on the right side. And a lot of machines it is. And here is where we want that recipe. Great. And then we need to have the casting unit. And oh, it's actually the grade 2 that we need. Okay, so then we do want to switch it. Wow. This seems effective. Here, you made this. And you did. So copper grade 2 and copper grade 1. I think this is a good place for a shed. Maybe even a storehouse. Yeah, let's make it a storehouse. Storehouse. And the reasoning behind the storehouse is that we need to have a bit of space here. And we want to have some output basically for the storehouse, so that we want to store some things. We want to store the side product in there and just process the other things. Then we need a bit more landfill here. And then we can actually move a bit forward, because we want to make room to have other machines when we need them. Because there will probably come a smelting recipe using molten copper later on, which might require more steps, I don't know. So that's why I prefer having a bit of extra space here. And then we will make this pipe belts go up. I imagine it would be funny to listen to me sometimes saying the wrong words for things. I even noticed that in the last episode I said pipes when I meant iron plates and stuff like that. So yeah. Sometimes it might not seem like I know what I'm talking about, but it's probably mainly because I multitask and it's not always easy doing two things at the same time. So what is missing is telling us that we are missing iron plates, which kind of makes sense, maybe, in a way? Or does it? I assume we are missing hot... We are missing hot air. Why exactly are we missing hot air at this point? Because I believe that we have plenty of coal, don't we? We have plenty of something, at least. It definitely looks like coal. We have plenty of coke oven gas. We have too many warm stone bricks. We have too much hot... What the what idiot made this? Now I don't know what is what. Doesn't make sense for molten glass to go over here, does it? No, it doesn't. There's been a mistake with these pipes. In case you noticed this already, congratulations, your eyes were quicker than mine apparently. Oh, this doesn't require hot air. That's why it's broken. That is why it's broken. Okay. And this also explains why we have so much coal, because we're not currently using it. Sure. Okay, let's remember that. That ought to fix it. At some point we need to scale that. Too many things to do. So this should fix the iron production. It did. Great! Now we can go get some belts, which I hope might exist over here. It does not, because there's no iron over here, essentially. So let's help it out. And then we basically need to figure out how to get the copper over here. I believe we might have some copper in this one. So until we have finished setting everything up, we can use that. These furnaces have been very helpful. We should have made them sooner, and we should also have destroyed them sooner, funnily enough. Here, you maybe made these. Someone made it at least. Have some copper pipes, copper plates. So then we need to figure out how to get a belt down here. Now I'm looking at this row especially. It looks very interesting. The only thing is that we need it to go down a bit. It probably needs to go in both directions for a while. So we will prepare for an upgoing belt, and then also we have an on downwards going belt. And I like having products on both sides of the belt in this case. So please give me products on both sides of the belt. Thank you. So we have almost played an hour again. So we should probably take a look at the Vrauks to see how they are doing. How far down does this need to go? A bit more. Now we researched something again. That's nice. Always like it when that happens. So here might be a good place to exit this. Now hopefully we should have a bit more belts here. We do. And great. Here comes the copper. From our newly, freshly copper processing, and we did solder processing a while ago as well, so we have actually done some things. We still need to take care of the Duralumin. That should be quite easy, because we have all the ingredients. We just need a machine, and I believe we have a machine over here that used to make us Duralumin manually. And that's a big machine, and that seems to require syngas. That will be interesting, because we didn't have any syngas here before. In fact, we don't have a pipe that reaches that far north. So I'm guessing it's time to make that pipe. Let's take a look at the map to see if this is a good location. It's not. But we could squeeze it through here. Yeah, let's squeeze it through there. Oops, we don't have any pipes. Thank you. Another research fixed. Nice. Thank you very much. Now let's hope we can squeeze it through here. We can. I am fully willing to sacrifice an inserter there. And let's go through this little bus thingy somewhere and onward. And then the question is about where to have it. Here is the aluminum, there is the copper. So let's put it down. Smelter, there it is. around here somewhere. And we are going to need this aluminum as well on the bus. We are sort of wanting to get all the items on the bus. And while we have the aluminum, we should split it to make half of it go on the bus and half of it become Duralumin. And yeah, right, this needs the fluid, of course. I was afraid that it maybe needed some item fuel, which would be very annoying. So here we have a splitter, and here we have the bus, and here we have copper. So what's the ratio here? 2 copper plates, 4 aluminum plates. Sure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. What time is it? Okay, it's 4 seconds for one of these. So that should be enough with just half of the inserters in that case. Great. And if you have half of the inserters, then you also just need half of the belt. And then we could, I guess, yeah, why not? Use some long-handed inserters. Not there because we need to, and this is only 1 per craft, right? So we need to get the fluid here. I still need some more pipes. And probably some more belts. Now we do want this to also balance on the belts. So let's see, where do we have that fluid? Here it is. That's perfect. One might almost think that we've planned this. We did not. Pure coincidence. So let's make a little belt balancing machinery here. And here we go. We have Duralumin and we have aluminum. Nice! Isn't that just splendid? Or something like it. Well, I like it at least. What's taking this so long? Oh, you got to be kidding me. It's a slow inserter. That's what's taking it so long. And since it's a slow inserter, we also can get rid of the chest, because at this point we don't need the chest for this. Now, is this better? Much better. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do like my borax. Now, before this becomes too much to handle, it might be a good idea to move around this niobium ore that we can't really do anything with at the moment. So then we put a shed here to have some more room for storing it. Then we move all the niobium ore back to the shed. And then we start to consider if maybe we should have gone with something larger, but no, I don't think so. I think this should be enough for quite a while. It's only 2 niobium ore per craft, so that's good. Great! So we didn't get as close as I wanted to the laboratory equipment, which we need for the green science, but we have run out of biomass. That's not intended. Give me more biomass. There you go. Give me some more cages as well. I was hoping that maybe we would have more Vrauks that we could put in our Vrauk cocoon production here. But we don't. But what we do have is 6 empty barrels that don't quite belong there. Of course. Because here we might want to have a filter inserter, or another way to fix this would be to move this machine 2 steps and make room for a chest, and then that should fix it. Where is my empty barrels? I don't have any empty barrels because I'm currently producing Vrauk cocoons. And we have 3 Vrauk cocoons so far, so that will leave us at basically 0 progress, because we need a whole bunch of these retroviruses. Luckily only 1 per cDNA, but we are going to need, let's see, things have moved. The planner should be in the top left. So we need 3 crafts, or no, 2 crafts on Moondrop and 3 of Galesias. So that's a total of, oh, that's the Vrauks. We can remove the Vrauks. We don't need them anymore. So we need 5, maybe 6 cDNAs. Or is it 5? Galesias. Oh, 3 becomes 2, and we're going to need 3 crafts of this, so that's already 9. And of the Moondrop, we're going to need 2 of these, so that's 12. So we need 15 cDNA. And 15 cDNA equals right. 15 cDNA equals 15 retrovirus, which equals 60 Vrauk cocoons. So we have made some progress towards green science, and more progress will be made once we have more Vrauks, which will make this progress much faster. While we could have more Vrauk paddocks, it doesn't really help much because each process is so slow at the moment. So that's why we need these caged Vrauks. Great. We have Duralumin. We are getting closer to cDNA, and oh my god, we have used up quite a lot of space just to get to green science. Wow. Okay, so next step is automate equipment chassis and automate laboratory equipment. Biosample we have cDNA, plasmids, so we need the Sogna bacteria. Don't I have that already? I think I have that. Yes, here it is. It's not fully automated, but it's something at least. Might be possible to automate. I'm gonna need another radar up here actually. I mean, even our radar doesn't quite cover all of this space. There we go. And then let's see. Plasmids. So once we get the laboratory equipment, we can make the plasmids. We will be able to get laboratory instrument, it's called. Okay, and we need optical set and we need rubber. And we want all that stuff over here somewhere so that we can produce the green science. So we're getting there. We are getting there. So we definitely know what to do next. I'm going to... I think I am going to remove this fix me because we have Vrauk production. It's not fully automated, but it's all the things we need to feed for things are there. So good. I will remove this as well because we have enough at least of iron plate production. So we have made things. Awesome. We have gotten closer. Awesome. Let's move this to do. Alright, thank you for watching. See you next time.